Friend as well, Chef Kevin Millonzi. Chef, you ready?
Yes.
So you'll see, oh my God. Look at, this is like insane. I love insanity.
I got this.
Sounds good. Molly and Christina helping out. So Molly's gonna call dibs on the tuna.
That's right. There's a lot.
Kate, you and I can do the wasabi peas, right?
Hoping.
Look at this. Chef, welcome, my friend.
Pleasure to see you.
Good to
again.
see you. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
This is amazing. I know you're going to have some wine with me, so I got to bring that glass over there for you. I don't even know where to start. So all I can say is that Kevin has been, and I'll call it this, a big part of my life for some very special occasions, going back almost 20 years at least,
Yeah,
right?
at least that long.
At least that long.
Absolutely.
So I've known Chef Kevin Millonzi for a very long time. He is a veteran of the industry, not only from the restaurant standpoint, but from the catering standpoint. And truth be told, you were actually one of the pioneers for Rhode Island's catering evolution that happened. So I'm very happy to have you here today to talk about a unique event. But I don't even know where to begin because this itself is a unique presentation. This is why I expanded the table, and you can see it was well worth it. Tony, can we see it all? Are we in good shape? Tony says it's awesome. All right, so tell us what you brought here, Chef. Before we even get into all our event talk, tell me what you
So
brought.
we do, a lot of my influence in cuisine, I like to introduce Asian. So this is sort of an Asian spread. We start over here with some wasabi peas, and it's a little snack. Good event to keep at the bar while people are getting their cocktails.
And they taste awesome.
Some homemade rice paper crackers. And I have a couple different dips that we've done with those. A homemade Thai chili sauce, cucumber and wasabi, and sort of an Asian barbecued mayonnaise.
Asian barbecue mayonnaise,
Yeah.
okay.
This one's interesting over here, so I made kind of compliments with our sesame crostinis. It's a wasabi mint and pea puree.
Wasabi, so like the peas.
It's got a little bit of spice to it, yeah.
Really?
It's interesting. Yeah, and it's very, what I like about it a lot is it's very vibrant in color, so it's very unique, it stands out. And then our main dish here, we have stir-fried noodles in a tangerine sweet and soy sauce. And underneath the sliced tuna, ahi tuna we have here is a kimchi slaw. On top there was some rice paper noodles that are fried. And we put a little bit of an Asian barbecued spice on the tuna, seared it rare. That's the way you should eat it.
Oh my God.
And it's tasty.
What are the noodles again that you said underneath this? Did I not?
Lo mein noodles. It's stir fried in a sweet and soy and tangerine sauce.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's very.
As you can tell, there isn't anything here that I wouldn't eat. And diving right into the unique event, I gotta get you some wine, right? I'm gonna get you share some wine with us. You want to do some of the serious? You want some red? Or you want
some red.
There we go.
They don't drink like that.
And you had something we're gonna share later, right?
Absolutely.
All right. So, get Kevin going with me. Cheers, brother. Thank you for joining me again. Okay, so talking about getting into the art of a unique event. As you can tell looking at this food right here, this is an art form. Designing it, styling it this way. When you're having your special event, again, and the special event runs the gamut of whether you're talking about a birthday party, an anniversary, a wedding, even corporate functions, which there are a ton of in the state of Rhode Island as a whole. This is the art form of how the presentation goes. So let's first start with there, because your presentation is what's standing out in my mind right now. Describe a little bit of the style of Millonzi's Fine Catering, the
Yeah.
theme that you guys tend to go with and which you present to your guests. And
Yeah,
such.
we're sort of a combination between eclectic and sort of an old school, from presentation. I like to let my staff be very creative. So we have always a plethora of what I call props or catering platters and bowls and things that we can sort of create the
Things
the
that
look of
visually
the food.
enhance, right?
Yeah, so the food really, when the presentation could be simply food that's presented on a plate and or a station that's put at your home or an event. The art of how it looks is really the draw for people. And I think you can really make food look beautiful and very eye appealing, very sexy.
All right, great. Sexy is a good term to use. So, from a visual standpoint, this happens a lot, even with restaurants. So if you notice a new restaurant's opening up, the theme, the decor in there, people are seeing with their eyes. Before they're even tasting a glass of wine or a cocktail or having something to eat, they're seeing with their eyes. So it goes into some of the other guests that I'm having on from the design perspective, we'll talk about how they can combine with you. And I have to say that all the guests today that I have, both Blackstone, Millonzi, Verity Design, and Perfect Surroundings, are all people that work together. You and Jim Verity have worked together many times. You've worked with the Carvatis over the years many times. Even you and Blackstone have collaborated events that are industry-related events. Speaking of industry, is that all of the guests that I have today are members of the International Live Events Association. It's an international association made up of event professionals from throughout the world. I have friends that are members in Australia and Canada and Germany, even in Italy. I've had the good fortune of producing events in over 40 states in the country, as some of my other guests have as well. So this group of people that come together, it's a very important thing, and there's a lot of camaraderie in the events industry, especially in Rhode Island.
Absolutely,
I think.
Rhode Island is pinnacle of that.
Yeah, so I think it's great. So from that perspective, one of the other things that I want to touch upon is your area of trying to do this. So we talked about your theme a little bit. Planning-wise, when you have a guest that reaches out to you, I mean, not all these people are familiar with throwing their own event. It's not like every person that calls you is a corporate planner, right?
Yep.
So when you get a call, how is it that you're making these people feel comfortable and understanding how that you can work together and create that special occasion?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's almost the biggest part of what we do for clients, big or small. So something that's small, intimate dinner party at someone's house, all the way up to a grand gala wedding. Getting them to feel comfortable with you and sort of leading them in the right direction. You know, I've found over the years of doing this that providing them very thorough documented planning documents and sort of kind of step-by-step approaches where we get through one phase before we move on to the next phase, depending on the complexity of the event. So the caterer usually takes a big hand in sort of those logistics, from figuring out the budget to exactly what the goal of the client's event is going to be for, whether it's a birthday party or obviously a wedding would be two different spectrums. But we work very closely with them, and that's sort of like a guide for them.
So would you say from the perspective of someone coming in that has never done this before, and they're planning a wedding or they're planning a big anniversary party, there's a comfort level that these people should feel? I know there's this big theme, and I'll talk about this throughout the segment today, of do it yourself. I've never been one of those people, even in my own house parties, where it's the do-it-yourself momentum. There's always an element of something I want to be in control of or be a part of, but it makes it so you're not enjoying it. If you think you can take on all these tasks, especially if you've never done it before, it's something I tell you to listen to these professionals I am on today, check out their websites, ask them questions, and I think from your end is that you've sat down and planned budgets with people.
Oh, of course. I mean, that's really the starting point of a big or small event. Is you sit down, you get the goal of what they want to accomplish, and then you figure out, you start to present them options that are going to fit within their budget, and then you start to plan. And it's loose in the beginning, and then has to become more refined, in detail, very detailed in our business. Timing and setup and locations, and there's a lot of moving parts in there.
So locations, that's a good point. That's a good segment from there. So from a location standpoint, talk to me about some of the venues that either your frequent venues that you're a part of, or venues in general that you've worked with, because I think that's another big thing, is that from a venue perspective, it ranges again from something that could be your house or relatives or a hotel. So talk about some of the venues.
I mean, so we go from anywhere from someone's home into some very high-end venues in Rhode Island. We're actually the exclusive caterer for the Galilee Beach Club, which is a super unique property down in Galilee. It's right in the heart of Galilee, near the Block Island Ferry. So
right on the water.
Right on the water, right on the beach. So we have elements of beach and nice formal dining room that you can incorporate into your event. Great for weddings or great for corporate retreats. We can have clam bakes right on the beach and sitting in front of the ocean.
Yeah, now you can do a clam bake on the beach. What's better than that?
It's pretty cool. Going back to someone's home, logistics of even restroom facilities, where depending on how many people are going to be at the event, all those things are part of really what the planning process is about. And a lot of people don't think about that stuff. They don't understand that there's a lot of complexities to events.
Right.
People sit at home and cook for 10, and they think that was a busy day.
Right.
So it's important to kind of go through all those factors with the client and make them feel comfortable, and you get the end result.
So that's another good point in talking about the logistics that go behind it. So the chef has been, obviously, he's got a tremendous skill in the kitchen, but he's also had a very talented team that he's surrounded himself with that are event professionals, people that are, they'll sit there and plan your menu with you, do your budgets with you, but I have to also give them credit is that if they get a question, from a reference standpoint, again, working with a great group of people in the industry here, your team is very good about whether they need to organize a tent or whether you need to order the restrooms or that kind of stuff, right? I mean, that's a large part of helping people feel comfortable.
Yeah, and depending on the client and depending on the event, obviously we provide very sort of industry standard experience checklists to go through and make sure that I tell clients all the time, I will never forget something that you don't need for your event because I've been doing it for so long. And that's the part of the reassurance of why you hire a caterer or an event planner.
And that's a funny story. So I've done literally hundreds of events over the years, and like I said, more states than I can count. There's an event that I did with Kevin years ago that we did at a very distinguished person's individual's house, Joe Palino's house on the east side of Providence, for Secretary Clinton and Bill Clinton, former President Bill Clinton. And you would think that I would remember everything that needs to go into bringing it to an event. And Kevin showed up and put the bar together and said, "You have the garnishes, right?" And I'm like, garnishes? What garnishes? Meaning, you know, lemons, limes, all this stuff. And literally, I don't know what you did. I had a Secret Service agent talk to me over here, another person talking to me over there, and I turn around and 6 minutes later and the bar stocked with everything, and I don't know how you did it or what you anticipated the fact that I was going to mess that up. But it was fantastic that he had that done. So you guys anticipate your guest needs.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
definitely something to put out there.
Absolutely, something that you need to do for your guests.
No doubt about it. But he has done some of the top events in the state, as many of our other caterers are. I can't encourage you enough to find out why Millonzi's is unique. And you also have the bar and grill, right?
Yeah, the restaurant, yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
So talk a little bit about the restaurant. Let's
Yeah,
talk
so
about that.
the restaurant was really designed to help us promote the catering business. And it's a great place for people to try our food, especially we do a lot of weddings. So usually first consultations take place at the restaurant, where a lot of caterers don't have that end of the business for people to come in and try and sample things. 'Cause it's very important. People want to see quality. They want to understand that, you know, you're going to deliver a very, very great product on a very special day, especially in a wedding industry. So it's sort of a part of how we utilize the restaurant into our business model.
And that's a good thing to say too, is that you guys encourage people to taste and ask questions
Absolutely.
about the menu, so they know what they're really
Absolutely.
getting to come out and do it with. That's awesome. I mean, Kevin has covered more than I thought we were going to cover already. You have something we wanted to try? You have another bottle of wine that you
Yeah,
want me to
I
try?
do, I do.
All right, where, did we bring it in already, or we have
brought it in.
Christine or Molly, would you guys mind handling us the Spanish-tastic bottle of wine that
You're
I
gonna really
you gotta
like
take,
this.
You have to take a sip of that
You're
because
really going to
I
like
know you're gonna.
this bottle of wine too.
So Kevin knows that I am oh my God. Okay,
Pinnacle of
so
wines.
pinnacle of wines, no doubt.
Best winery, I think, in the country this year.
I would have to agree. This is the Justin Isosceles. My brother-in-law gets this for Christmas for me every year because it's his big present that I give him. He's addicted to this like I am. I could drink this bottle of wine 7 days a week. This is awesome. This is very nice of you to bring that. That is
My
unbelievable.
pleasure. Good food, good friends, good
Ke-
wine.
Kevin obviously knows that I like wine. Over 20 years, he's kind of figured that out. A little bit of this. All right, so I have to tell you that this is amazing, and we've gone through a lot of things, but I have probably one final question as we toast to this. Cheers. Thank you so much for bringing in
My pleasure.
this phenomenal bottle of wine. Unbelievable.
Liquid gold.
It is. It's unreal. From this style, and you cover a lot of styles because you're doing the catering, plus you have the restaurant. What would you say are some of the things that are your favorites to cook? And it's not necessarily that your favorite dishes, but things that you really enjoy cooking or you try to recommend for people to learn about and try.
Yeah, well, I love tuna, and I love tuna prepared, properly. This is the tuna we prepared today was an ahi tuna, sushi grade. Obviously, we like to sear it rare and serve it rare. I love sliders. I love making sliders. That's sort of kind of a fun
Sliders,
new
really?
thing. Yeah, and I
Oh.
actually we make one that's in the last couple of years that's become very popular is we make lamb sliders. And we serve them with
Nice.
different types of relishes and tzatziki sauces.
This would go perfect with lamb sliders.
Yeah, so we try to, I try to, and it's always, that's the great part about food. There's so much inspiration that goes into what we do and where we source the products from, and we can constantly create new things because there's just endless amounts of food that are out there.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to come in today. You've highlighted some amazing things. Chef Kevin Millonzi, you have to check out Millonzi Fine Catering. You also have to check out the Bar and Grill in Warwick, which is a very comfortable, fun place to go and enjoy. And he's, like I said, the art of the unique event, he fits perfectly into it. Thank you, Chef, for doing it.
My pleasure,
It's
Rick.
awesome to have you
Thank
in.
you.
We're going to see if we can get this out.